Alrighty. Dun. Here we are. Oh, my name is Sammy. I'm the host. This is my co-host, Sassy. Sassy, would you like to introduce yourself?
Howdy, I'm Sassy. She co-host.
Yeah, so this is, who knows what we're going to call this podcast, but this is just, we're brothers, and we're chilling, and we thought we'd make a podcast. So, let's talk about... Well, look at it. You can focus on me. We're having a conversation. That's all it is.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cat.
We could talk about the cats.
Shit.
I mean, so, these cats, man, these fucking cats, they get on my nerves sometimes, but they're good cats. They don't... Well, I'll tell you what they do. They shit like a motherfucker.
They really?
Yeah, they fill them litter boxes up like it's nobody's business, especially at Rico.
They're fucking
Come here, boy. Okay, or not.
My body is a factory, is a machine that turns cat food into shit. That's them. That's them.
Yeah.
They're the shit machines.
The shit machines, and also the scratch machines. You guys are crazy. Hey, Rico.
There he is.
Let me think. What's something that I've heard about in recent times?
Well, what about something we haven't heard about in recent times? How about, East Palestine, Ohio? Whatever happened with that?
Tell me again what happened in East Palestine, Ohio?
So that was the accident where I think it was right before Trump got elected. Yeah. Sometime before, like maybe 1 or 2 years-ish, there was a huge derailing in East Palestine, Ohio.
Oh, is that where the chemical leak
That was
happened?
when the huge fucking chemical leak that happened and the sky turned black for a few days. Whatever happened to that?
They probably paid people out, I bet,
At first,
They probably paid the people of East Palestine, you said? East Palestine?
East Palestine, Ohio, yeah. Kind of a... It happened at first, and then there was so much news about it. Everybody was covering it, and then all of a sudden, it's like when they stopped blaming like everybody else, they were just like, I don't know. Like they talked about it. They talked about how there are people there who got like cancer and stuff, and how it's destroying the environment. But like, what about the cleanup efforts? Well, that was never in the news.
Killed an estimated 3,500 small fish across the 7.5 mile kilometer, or 12 kil. No. It killed 3,500 fish across a 7.5 mile stream as of February 8th, I assume 2024.
Yeah, that's...
So yeah, it killed a lot of fish. Now, how is this going to affect the fishing season?
So true. How is this going to affect fishing season? Well, I'll tell you what, it's going to affect fishing season by you're not going to be able to catch fish anymore. And the water is going to give you skin cancer. Did they ever actually find out who did this? Like, what was how this happened? Was this
the area of impact from the accident and subsequent fire covering 1.4 million square kilometers. It included portions of 16 U.S. states and likely Canada, which there's no data.
That's where like the smog and shit got, huh?
So really nothing. They didn't pay anyone off after this happened. It seems like it was just an EPA oversight, and they're detecting low levels of
2-butoxyethanol.
Yes, that word. And other chemicals. They're pretty low, I guess, as of 2025.
Yeah, but like I mean, they can take a sample from fucking anywhere and say, you think the mayor in Flint, Michigan, was taking an actual sample of the water to say it was okay, or do you think that was,
Flint, Michigan?
Yeah, how like they were like, what was it? Obama said he drank some.
He didn't say he
did.
That was funny. he was on video, and he said, let me me pull up the video.
Yeah, pull up the video, dude. That's fucking hilarious.
Obama Flint water. That was funny because you'll see.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking.
We can get this pulled up on OBS.
Yeah.
Let me
I'll try and
see
get
if I
that.
can. Sugar, me, mom. Yeah, so we're on this right now. When you look at this.
There you go. You know, generally I have not been doing stunts here, but, you know.
Ooh, that's a real good sip.
And this used a filter. You know, the water around this table, you know, was Flint water that was filtered. And it just confirms what we know scientifically, which is that if you're using a filter, if you're installing it, then Flint water at this point is drinkable. That does not. And
He took a big old gulp of that.
you know,
That little, it just like touched his
And-
lips.
Yeah, it's just a little bit. Just fucking. He just kissed
This is
it. He just kissed it, dude. That's crazy.
So how do I turn this off? Turn visibility of that off. Okay. And we're learning as we go, so this is an experience. So I can even, how can I do this? I don't know. Whatever. Oh, yeah. Okay. But yeah, I mean, so, with Flint, that was funny.
Oh, dude, you're sitting on. What the hell is she sitting underneath me? Rico, you bastard. This cat, dude.
He sits like, he does that
He
kind of
lays
stuff.
down right at the
Then
side of impact.
I'll be
dude. He's
cooking. I'll be cooking, making something. Dude, I won't even be cooking. I'll just be in the kitchen, just getting water or something. And he comes up. He goes between my legs, and he he steps in my way, and I end up like running into him like almost every day.
Dude, that happens
Come
at
here, you
home.
little panther.
That happens at home too with Kiwi.
Yeah.
Over at my place, dude. She's fucking. She loves, like, I'll be going up the stairs. I'll look at her. She'll look back at me, and we'll like make eye contact. I'll go up the stairs, and she'll sprint right fucking beneath me, dude. Like, she'll try to go weave between my feet, and I almost step on her and fall down the fucking stairs every time, dude.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
It's like, bitch, trying to kill us. Like Obama's trying to kill the Flint, Michigan people, huh?
See,
he
no,
wasn't.
that's
no, we can't say.
See, I know that's when you're going into dangerous water.
That's yeah, we can't.
might
say
have
that. That's a joke.
Big Mike come and deal with us.
Oh shit, true. I didn't consider that. I'm gonna have to lock my doors tonight.
It's like Big Dick Randy.
Big Dick Randy's coming around
He's
for
gonna be
Halloween.
outside knocking on the window for me tonight.
Bro, you gotta like board that thing up, right?
What's
there.
up with that whole Big Mike thing? Nobody talks about that.
Yeah, like
Nobody talks about that, and like how that Jane Goodall looking ass lady, that lady, that
What was
old
that?
lady,
Yeah, that old lady. who
she
was, like,
died mysteriously, like right after she was like, Michelle Obama's a
Yeah,
man.
she was like, there's already a gay president in office when she got asked by like a reporter or something, and then just like a month later, what do you know? She went to get her teeth done, and for some reason they used the one anesthetic she was allergic to.
What dentist? I mean, honestly, I could see how they could fuck that up because dentists are generally pretty shit. Medically,
They're not considered healthcare workers for a
like,
reason.
like it's not covered under health insurance. It's not real. It is medical, but it's not like
It's not healthcare technically.
they don't like.
It's not under that.
Dude, like that Chinese dentist we used to go to. Do you
Dude.
think he was checking our fucking our records?
Nah,
Checking our
man.
health records? No, I
That
don't
dude
think he
right
probably
next to
even
the
has
Chinese
access
buffet,
to.
dude. Fuck no.
Yeah, right next to a Chinese
Right,
buffet.
yeah,
You think he's gonna
Royal
care?
buffet.
Yeah, sitting outside a royal buffet. You think he's gonna check my health
He does
records?
not give a
I don't
fuck,
think.
bro.
What's her name? Whoever that is. Maybe that could have been an
But she
accident.
was like a celebrity, wasn't she? Why would she ever go to a dentist that's like that retarded?
Maybe she didn't know the dentist was slow.
But wouldn't she have like a dentist she normally goes to, or like
Well, how often do people really go to dentists?
one? Well, I mean, average
When's
person.
it-
once
I don't.
a-
I don't go to the
Average person
dentist.
once a year ish. Hopefully, old people you need to go there like every 6 months.
Why? Because their like jaws fall apart.
Well, I mean, because a lot of old people are not eating like calcium. So
That
they're
is
just,
true.
A lot of them eat, dude. It's
What do they
unfortunate.
eat? Like,
a lot of them end up eating like TV dinners and shit. I've heard.
that is sad, man.
Like any.
That's one of the biggest, and that's a good topic to talk about. It's just like, just the quality of life, man. Like, I'm doing all right because I work a lot, but it's like, man, in an ideal world, with all this technology and stuff that we have, I feel like we could, within our lifetime, see a work and home life balance. You know, where you only have to work half the year. You know, to just make it by, to be able to live healthy and happy. I don't think you should have to work more than half the year. There's so many beautiful things out there. You know, you go out there, you see, just go outside and look at the fucking sky, man. It's cloudy today, but you know, any day of the week you go outside, it's beautiful. It's just, no matter what the weather is, you know. But you know, people don't have the time
Not
nowadays. You know,
everything.
by the
is
time
fucking-
you're in your 30s and 40s, you shouldn't have to work more than half the year. Because you should be skilled enough in whatever trade you're doing where you get the job done that you need to do. You know, if a company wants people to work 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off, they do that, you know. If they want them to work every day, 180 days in a row, you know, then they do that. If they want, or whatever, it's up to them, up to the employer and up to the person. You know, they make that agreement. Okay, you're going to be working, you know, every other day. You're going to be working whatever. So that way, you know, and then you have people that fill in the gaps because we have such a large population. It's like, it's not that we don't have enough jobs. It's like the people are not filling the jobs. It feels like
Yeah.
the American citizens are not filling the jobs.
That's why we have shit like the H-1B program still around. You know.
Yeah, I mean, with because I'm into you know, remodeling and all that, and just working on like just pretty much any trade. You know, we do general construction and stuff like that with this guy. I know, man, 90% of it is Hispanics that work in that, and it's not a bad thing, but recently with all the ICE stuff going on, it's like, hey Coco, it's like the people that I've met are getting deported. It's like it's like like I met these people like 2 weeks into the job and they're gone now.
Where are they? Back in Mexico? Bro?
They're probably in Alligator Alcatraz, man. I don't know.
Shit, honestly, that could happen.
Dude, I think
that just makes you think, dude. How many fucking people do you meet every day that are like not supposed to be here? Because
right.
they say like
it's
the official numbers like what, like 40 million or something.
Illegals?
Yeah, illegal immigrants.
So the real population is like 370 million, or do they count that into the 330?
I don't know how they got the number. I just remember.
Let's see this.
Yeah, just look that up.
Look that up real quick. Jamie pulled that up. What?
How many illegal immigrants are in the United States? Are in Chicago? 14 million. Oh, okay. 40 million? No fucking way. Oh,
Basically between 10 and 14 million.
Yeah, I mean 40 million is kind of crazy. Yeah, I think that was just some retard online claiming that, not an actual study.
Oh shit, we're up to 340 mil.
So, this country is at least 53 million, though, are legal or illegal immigrants.
Right.
Out of 340 million, dude.
Mm.
That's like a seventh of the population.
Yeah.
And then you can imagine that probably like what, 30% of those are illegal?
I'm not sure, but well, I mean, illegal includes people overstaying their visas. Like I personally know a number of people who have overstayed their visas, and so it's like those people are technically illegal immigrants too.
Yeah,
Because they've migrated to the States, but they haven't legally become a resident.
Yeah, it's kind of a broad term, but I feel like it kind of has to be because
I feel like what people don't realize is like illegal immigrants is not just Mexicans and Indians.
no,
It's like there's illegals from Ukraine that came during the war and
Oh,
stuff.
a
A
lot
lot
of
of them. You know, a lot of Arabs and a lot of Middle Easterners. You know, so it's like we gotta have tighter borders. I think. If you're gonna have something that's good in this world, you gotta keep it precious.
you have to gatekeep things for them to be good.
Right, like
Like you see it all the time with online communities. The people who start them, like for games or books or stuff, like Harry
Mhm.
Potter, they're all just like the same group of people who enjoy the thing because they're into it, you know? They're part of the community. And then you have these fucking retards who come in and want to change things so that they can get in, and then it's not for the original group anymore. Trying to make it something for everybody makes it for nobody.
right.
That's the philosophy basically.
Right. I mean, I think immigration's a good thing. Our dad was an immigrant. I think it's a good thing for this country, but it has to be done legally. You know, our pops came here legally. He, you know, did everything the right way, and you know, it wasn't easy, but he did it. And so, and if you go to the city, you go to Chicago, most of the Mexicans and Hispanics who came here legally are completely in support of all this.
Oh yeah,
Because they struggled through it, you know, and actually got here legally. They don't want to see illegals coming in.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot to it. I feel like there's some of it is to cause problems on purpose, because it has been shown in, and I'm going to fact check this in a second, but from what I've heard, there have been instances where they've been able to prove that illegal migrants were sent here from their home country, and a lot of them were like released, like they're murderers or they're thieves or they're violent criminals,
Yeah, I heard
and they
about
get
that.
released from prison and just dumped here in America. And so it's like the crime is our problem now.
even if they're not like released, if it's just like cartel members and stuff, they fall under the same blanket as the women and children who are escaping to this country. So it's like there's no winning, because either you're treating the women and children unfairly, or you're treating the cartel people too fairly, or the criminals. And it's like, and have you seen those videos of like the huge border crossings and stuff, where it's like thousands of people walking through at a time? Where are all the women and children in those? It's just like swaths of men.
That is true. So don't take my word for that other one, that other thing that I said. I don't know if that's true. That's what I've heard. But you know, take everything with a grain of salt. So, but yeah, I mean, that is very strange. If you look at like the South African refugees who came, and honestly, those guys, a lot of them are pricks. But if you look at those guys who came, it was families. But you see like all these
Families at
people
a time.
coming in like from
From
across
the
the
southern
border, and
border.
stuff, when they were there, the videos of them letting thousands of people in, it's all like military age men.
Yeah, young men
And
around
so
like
it's
your
like-
age. Around like our age.
But at the same time, you have to imagine military age also means working age for men. So
But it's
basically, they were trying to prop up the labor force for cheap in America, and now it's falling apart.
yeah.
Whether that's intentional or not, I don't know, but it is very suspicious, because this is happening in many other countries, not just the U.S., and you know, like in Europe especially, where they just like import these people, and it's like, who voted for this?
Yeah.
Who voted for any of these people to be here? You know what I mean? And I know we're not a proper democracy where every little fucking thing is voted on, but as a republic, major national things like that there should be a referendum. I mean, we walk around with phones on us all day, right? How hard would it be to send a national referendum?
Oh yeah, like what you.
It's literally it's like a you can read through it. It gives it gives you like the whole thing. You can just read through it real quick, and you know, it's like an emergency beep. Same noise, and it's a referendum, right? And you can everyone just says yes or no. It's that simple. You know what I mean? That would just improve life.
Although I guess that could be abused. Like with those cell phone farms that people do for like social media and shit.
Yeah, like that.
like the
like the
bot farmers do.
AT&T. Did you see that? Was it AT&T or?
I don't know.
All I know is it has ties to a certain country in the Middle East that is currently having a lot of political issues. So,
yeah.
but they're tied. I heard that the surveillance was tied to that, and it was like there's like racks of just phones plugged in, and they're all plugged in like a giant computer.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
It's just a bot farm. They do that in China. They do that in India. They do it in those kinds of countries.
Yeah, but they found like an office filled with like I don't know how many phones. It looked like a couple hundred at least. I don't even know what you would call that to look it up, but I saw the video. But at the same time, it's like, how do you know what's real and what isn't? That's the tricky part.
Yeah, that's
because we do know for a fact here in the States that the military, pretty much any technology that comes out, the military has access to it 10 to 20 years before the public.
Well, 1,000%.
So it's like, I find it really hard to believe that the military didn't have access to AI before the public.
Just the government in general.
Right? So it's like, they say it's open AI and all this, but it's like, they've been building these Google data centers for years now. It's not like they just started popping up in 2023 when AI first, came out and was really bad.
Yeah.
So I feel like, and there are military data centers too. That is a thing for Homeland Security. So I wouldn't doubt that that they've had access to AI at least since 2020. And so with that, who knows how many videos are just not real?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
like
it's
you
like,
see
how do
that-
you know?
Like,
How do you know?
Have you saw that on Twitter? This is like a horror almost. The Sora account, the Sora, the AI, they made an advertisement on Twitter using their 2.0 program, and it's a video of a guy committing a crime and being arrested, like through CCTV footage in like a Walgreens.
Oh yeah.
Like, what the
So they
fuck?
can just literally like frame you for crimes now.
Yeah, exactly. Like, video evidence will no longer be admissible in court.
Well, it will be for a couple years until a huge lawsuit comes out. That's the way things go usually. It's admissible until it's not. What's up with the Trump freedom of speech thing?
What do you mean?
Because he was like, we're going to have to revoke freedom of speech for anyone who supports terrorist organizations.
That's normal, isn't it? Like, you can't go out in the streets and start parading about like Al Qaeda, can't you?
But that goes against the First Amendment. You're supposed
Does
to be
it?
able to do any of that. As long as you're not physically being violent or inciting violence, saying, hey, this group of people should be hurt, that falls under the First Amendment. But now they're trying to use it, my guess, is against foreigners. Like foreign students on college campuses.
They're gonna call them terrorists now?
Well, supporters of terrorists, and they're going to arrest them. Like what they're doing in England right now. Because that's already happening in England. They're already doing that. If people just holding signs, they're sitting on the ground holding signs saying, we're for the whatever Palestine movement or whatever. I forget what it's called.
Movement.
But they're for it, but the British government designated that group as a terrorist organization.
So what do you know? We can arrest all these people.
So now you can arrest all these people who are just... I'm sure some of them are crazy, but like the vast majority are just supporting their beliefs that, what's going on and it shouldn't be going on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I understand it's Britain, they're all the king's subjects. They're not
They don't
actually...
have an actual
They're
constitution.
not really
just
citizens. They're all just subjects. They're technically all subjects, so the king can say whatever. He could say, yeah, we're going to just start doing public hangings for anybody who supports something I don't like. And what are they going to do? He's the king.
That's how it was until the Magna Carta, and then they removed the Magna Carta anyway.
Yeah, and now they're trying to, I feel like, do something similar here in the States, but I feel like everything that happens nowadays is a distraction.
It's all psyops.
I feel like it's a psyop. I feel like all of it's a psyop. I feel like he's not going to really act on it, but it's just to sow fear. And also, here's the thing: if they start, like, because now they put out that press release, right? And he looked like he's about to shit himself, right? He looks like, because honestly, taking away any of the basic amendments is like suicide.
That is
I
political
really
suicide.
really do not think Trump is in control. I don't think Biden, well, we know for a fact Biden wasn't in control. He was just asleep the whole fucking time.
Dude, yeah, poor
And,
fella.
you know, Hyena Kamala was going crazy, you know.
Going giggity on stage.
Yeah, she's just, what a shit show this country's become.
Whatever.
That's why from now on, and I'll say I fucking voted for Trump. You know, because he was the better of the two options that I think. But honestly, I think my vote would be better placed in a third party.
Yeah.
Because everybody says, like, and this is something nobody talks about. Everybody, like, says, oh, voting for a third party doesn't mean anything, doesn't do anything. But that's not true because, and I can pull this up in a minute, when they get more voters, it's like once they reach certain thresholds, they begin getting more funding. Like, if 1,000 people put Kanye's name on the ballot, he's not going to get any funding. But if 3 million people put Kanye's name on the ballot, then the next term, like, if let's say he opens up the Kanye party, whatever,
the Ye party,
the Ye party,
yeah,
and he gets 3 million votes, they have to give him funding at the next election cycle if he runs again. His party runs again. It with him or someone else in the Ye party.
Yeah.
The government gives them funding once they reach a certain threshold. So it's like if even a 1% increase of people turn away from the main two parties and vote third party, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
1%, that's 3 million people. You know?
Well, let's assume like 100 million people vote. With most people don't actually vote.
Right, there's a lot of elderly, and elderly vote a lot. But
voter turnout among people younger than 30 is actually kind of low.
Do you think the voting should be mandatory? Compulsory voting?
Well, no.
You don't think people should have to vote?
Well, no, because then you're just choosing between lesser evils, especially if the person's not educated. Because that's basically forcing a result. If you do it like this, then there's more room for what people want.
But at the same time, it's easier to get an inaccurate count because if it's compulsory for all adults over the age of 18 and older, then you have an accurate count because you know exactly how many American citizens.
Everybody's got a birth certificate,
right? Everybody has
security number.
Anyone who's voting has a social security number and a birth certificate here in the States, or it was a migrant and they had their papers, right? So that would prevent election fraud, I feel like. Because then it's like, okay, where did these extra 20 million votes come from? Because we have everyone accounted for. It's compulsory. You have to vote. And even, but make it compulsory, but have an option saying that I don't like any of the candidates.
I guess you have to.
But I feel like there's enough parties.
I
feel like there's enough parties. Even the small ones, there's a place for everyone's vote. I feel like. No matter what alignment you are, if you're crazy left or crazy right or in the middle, I feel like there's parties for that. And it's our duty as Americans to
let people vote.
To shape the way this country works. Not, one of the biggest things that I think is an issue is the fact that all these corporations get more of a vote than we do.
Yeah, we're more of a plutocracy right now than a democracy.
That's something that baffles me. The war excuse of we're spreading democracy when we're not a democracy ourselves.
We're not.
We're a republic.
We're a constitutional republic.
We're a constitutional republic, but we're spreading democracy.
Yeah, we are the ones spreading democracy, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lockheed Martin is really spreading democracy over there in the Middle East. Those children really needed that bomb in their fucking head.
Yeah. fucking.
We needed to blow up more children in the Middle East, dude.
That's all we need.
We're stealing their oil and giving them freedom in exchange. Freedom from a good life.
Yeah.
We're giving them freedom from freedom.
Yeah, we're giving them freedom from their own choices.
We're liberating them.
We're giving them the freedom to not make a choice.
Yeah, we're the liberators, dude.
Well, since World War II, pretty much.
Yep, always.
So what do you think the paradigm shift was in the mentality? You think it's just like we realized how powerful we were as a fucking huge ass nation? Because we're like this one of the like top 3 or 4 biggest countries in the entire world, like by landmass, and then by population we're in like the top 10.
Are we?
Yeah,
I think we are, but
I think so. 330 million. China has like what? 1.5 or 7 or some shit.
And India has like 2 million.
Not to mention all the unaccounted ones, but you know, so there's just so you think it was just like us realizing how powerful we are, or do you think it was?
I think
somebody got a hold of things.
I think it was like with the creation of like just the beginning of like the League of Nations and such, and just the enshittification of everything.
How do you mean?
Well, because like with the League of Nations and the UN, like okay, you're a country that's part of the United Nations. What does that even mean?
Well, yeah, the United Nations don't even enforce anything.
They don't. Yeah, guys.
They just
know
like,
you're blowing
stop
up.
Doing that.
Guys, we know you're blowing up children, and we know you killed like 1,000 peacemakers we sent. Guys, we're gonna have to make a sternly worded letter to tell you to not do that again. And we
also, what's up with the fact that the U.S. can just veto everybody?
Well,
in the UN.
Well, when we pay for everything, I mean, or you mean NATO?
Is it NATO or
it's NATO? Yeah, because we're the primary contributor to everything.
What was the one vote? No, that was the UN. That was the UN where they voted for if food and water or something like that.
Humanitarian aid or something, right?
No. If food and water are a human right, and the United States and Israel were the only countries that raised their hand and said no, and so they were able to veto the entire decision. You don't think food and water is a human?
No.
Right?
Not necessarily, no.
I think if we're gonna have in a society, it is a human right.
I'd say
as an individual, no, but as a society, it is our duty to make sure that everyone is fed and well taken care of.
Because I believe in liberty and freedom, I believe that anything that requires somebody else's labor does not make it a right at all.
Sure.
Like you have access to water, and you have the access to go and make yourself cleaner water or to make yourself food, but like providing food is not a right. Anything that requires somebody else's labor should never be a right. Like you have the right to own guns. And
I don't think you should just like sit on your ass all day and be fed and taken care of, but. It's like there's a lot of things that have to change for that to be a fact here in the States, that those things are a human right. One of the big ones, I think, would be making unemployment benefits and also just like any aid if you're getting EBT, if you're getting SNAP card or whatever, if you're getting sectioned housing and things like that, you should have to do a day or two every week where you go and you do government work, whether that's working in a soup kitchen or something like that. And that's how you take care of people, because you're paying for your benefits by helping the community.
Yeah.
Right? Or you go out and you're picking up litter, things like that. Mm-hmm. During those 2 days, you're just doing basically charity work.
Yeah.
To pay back to society what they're paying for you in taxes. Right? You're paying it back to the society by cleaning up the streets, by having a soup kitchen for poor people and the homeless.
See, that I would support my taxes going to.
Right. But it's like,
right.
No, instead, let's give people unemployment and let them sit on their ass for like 6 months or however long they can sit on it, and just do nothing.
See, people always.
When you go to the office, the fucking human resource center or whatever that you go to for unemployment, I don't know, I've never collected unemployment. But wherever you go, the phone call you make or whatever the fuck, they should be like, okay, great, you're going to be in Mondays and Fridays. between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m.
You get your picture taken and you get it like an ID.
Right.
And you gotta go just work
Right.
on those
Right.
days.
And you just clock in and clock out, just like that. And you're helping the community. You're being a benefit to the community, and you're not sitting on your ass at the end of the day. If you want, you're just a guy who doesn't want to fucking do anything with his life. You just really don't give a fuck. You want to just live. Then you go and you work 5 days a week for the government. And they provide you housing, and they provide your food and your water and everything like that. And give you another, like, I don't know, $200 a week or something just to give you to work with.
Yeah.
But those 5 days a week, you're doing community service. Helping the homeless, helping the streets stay clean, helping the garbage man, helping, things like that. And also at the same time, you can learn government trade, trades through the government.
Yeah.
It's a good way to train people,
That'd be a great way. Like,
you come out of high school, you're poor, you come from a poor family, right? You can't afford to go to college, you can't afford to go to a trade school, so what do? You go to the unemployment office and you tell them, hey, look, I don't have any skills, but I'm willing to come out if you guys, and you work it out. And then they pay for your housing and all that. You're learning a skill. You get a government apprenticeship and you get certified. If you want to be a mechanic, if you want to be whatever, And so, 3 days a week you're learning the skill, and 2 days a week you're doing community service.
What this country needs more of is freelancers and open contractors.
Self-employment.
Self-employment.
Self-employment needs to be pushed.
That should be
because
pushed.
that's what built the middle class. Actually having skills and employing yourself and determining your price is so valuable. I feel like because that's what I do. Every time I go in and I work with people and stuff, I talk to them because I'm a business owner. I get to go up to them and I talk to them myself. As business owner to business owner, you can talk to them that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like a lot of people are like employees for life, and so it's like they never have that self-respect for themselves that you get when you're actually getting the contracts, actually doing the bids yourself. But I don't think everyone has that in them. I don't think most people have that in them because it takes a lot of drive and a lot of figuring shit out.
Not everyone.
So, but that's the freedom that we. And how do you support that freedom? By providing opportunities to go down whatever path they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
If all they want to do is just be a pothead, you still gotta fucking contribute something to society.
Yeah, you'll just be community.
But you can be a pothead if you want. If you want to go and drink all day. On your days off, if you just want to go and do whatever, you have the freedom to do that. But you have to contribute something, So that's how I think about it. Like, but going back to the important resources like food and water, I think if they're gonna be doing GMO and all that stuff, that should be all government. Like how they used to do government cheese and stuff.
Yeah.
There should just be government food, government water, and it's incredibly cheap, incredibly low prices, but it's just generic. The regular shit you find on the shelf, but it's government run, and it has flat prices.
Mm-hmm.
That don't go up over time, things like that.
They're not affected by inflation or.
And it also provides steady jobs for people.
Yeah.
That way you're not worried about, Monsanto, which is now owned by Bayer, poisoning your food, and which. Going back to earlier when I was saying that I think a lot of this stuff is a distraction, Bayer right now, and this is so important for people to hear, Bayer, as well as other large chemical companies, are currently going through Congress right now to pass a bill into the House that will allow them to basically have the same qualified immunity as police officers. Like the company. How does a company have qualified immunity?
That's not.
They're not people.
No, they're.
A company is not a person.
It's a theoretical entity, basically.
It's an entity. It's not a person.
Yeah.
So how does a company? And so Monsanto was responsible for Agent Orange. Well, they were one of the sellers, but specifically Monsanto, the Agent Orange that they released had dioxins in it, and so that caused cancer in American soldiers and in Vietnamese soldiers in the Vietnam War, as well as just hundreds of thousands of Vietnamese civilians.
Mm-hmm.
And it's on the VA website, the Veterans Association website, talking about the effects of it. There's like 50 or 60 different types, excuse me, cancer that people are getting from fucking
Exposure to Agent Orange.
From exposure to the dioxins in Agent Orange. And so it's like, but what repercussions did they really see?
None. Money loss.
They lost a little bit of money. No, I mean you do that kind of thing, and the thing is they proved that they knew that the dioxins were dangerous 10 years before they put it out into the public.
Yeah, they know.
They knew ahead of time.
Knew.
It's not like an accident happened. People make mistakes, right? No, these guys they knew that.
And they hid it from Congress.
They hid it from. They
lied
to
under
Congress.
oath.
They lied under oath. And what did they get? Maybe a fine.
I think a couple $1 million in fines.
And they made it back in the next year, easily. Not to mention the fact that Monsanto, which all their patents and everything was passed to bear when they were bought, but Monsanto owns like upwards of like 60% of all of the, or like 80% of the, up to like, I don't want to get the numbers wrong. It's like between 60 and 80% of all seeds that are planted in America were made by Monsanto Bayer.
Yeah, the GMOs.
Right, the GMO seeds. And so with that, a part of the agreement is like you can't replant them, you can't resell the seeds, you can't extract the seeds from the plants when they flower.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. It's
it's
illegal. They can actually sue the fuck out of you for doing that. Get your shit shut down.
Yeah, like if you have leftover seeds, like you plant like two
yeah, you
fields,
can't replant the seeds.
You have to burn the seeds.
Yep.
You can't use them next season. You have to burn them.
Yep.
They have to be destroyed.
And the reason these seeds even came about was because the pesticides and fungicides and herbicides that they got from Monsanto were killing the original crops.
Mm-hmm.
The non-GMO crops. That's why GMO became a thing. Not because it's more productive, but because it's resistant to the pesticides.
Dude,
but we're not resistant to the pesticides.
Dude,
we're not GMO'd.
They call them pesticides, but really, they're more like fucking omnicides. They kill
that's what
everything.
That's what they're called. I'm pretty sure they're classified as like omnicides.
Omnicides.
They kill fungus,
they kill
plants,
mammal, fish, birds, all plant life, fungi.
Yep.
Everything that is alive, it kills basically.
Yep.
Or hurts.
Yep. Kills the biodiversity.
The GMO exists so the plants can resist it.
Right. It's fucked up, man. And also another thing, why don't okay, if we're having problems with food or whatever and making it cheaper, why not in school teach people how to make gardens? Why isn't that a mandatory thing, gardening?
We did it in World War II.
Right? It's like, why doesn't everybody have a small garden?
Yeah.
Even if you're, because I live in an apartment, but I have a small patio, right? I could put up a fucking, planters and stuff, but I don't know how to. And also, I'm kind of lazy. No, I get off work and I'm tired as fuck. But what I mean is, if we were all doing our own micro farming, enough to feed ourselves and a little bit extra, you can make money entrepreneurially through that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But the way to make those things accessible, but I think electricity, any human day-to-day need, I think should be government run. There should be a private sector if you feel like it, if you want private energy or whatever because it's more reliable. But I think the energy sector, I think all these things that are regularly used, gasoline, petroleum, those things have to be taken off the market because they're going to be capitalized against people. You know what I mean? And so it's like, we're capitalistic, but what comes first is the Constitution before any of that.
Yeah, the people.
So the people come before any capitalism or communism or socialism or whatever the fuck ism you want to talk about.
Schism.
What matters the most is we the people. That's what matters most. Not corporations, not how much money you can make. We're capitalistic, and I think that's a good thing. But the people come first.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we have to run our country, but that's not the way it's been run for almost 100 years. Basically, since World War II, our country's been run, since the economic bubble, the Nifty 50 bubble, pretty much. The country's been just down the shitter. So it's...
Ever since they got rid of the gold standard, frankly.
I forget which happened first. I think the Nifty 50 happened right after Nixon removed the gold standard. So we're at 45 minutes. I'm going to go for an hour. So,
Isn't it funny how like there were so many golden ages in human history across so many different societies, and over the past 300-400 years there hasn't been one?
they have, but
No, but like
a golden
like,
a golden
no, but
age
like the
is.
Spanish golden age, which lasted from like what?
But how did
14
how did the Spanish golden age happen?
Well, I shouldn't.
They
get
ethnically
I
cleansed.
I shouldn't get into
They
that.
ethnically cleansed. That's how it happened. So
Well, no,
really,
they kicked out one group of people, but
and also Arabs. They kicked out Arabs too. The Spanish were incredibly cruel to anyone who was not a Spaniard. So that's how golden ages came about. How did the pharaohs have a golden age? By
suffering.
persecuting people. So it's like
Someone has to suffer.
we have
for good
had
things to
golden
happen, I
ages.
guess.
Then people are gonna. I don't want to say what I want to say, but it's. Let's just say the group after the Weimar Republic in Germany. If you had asked the people then, they would have described it as a golden age. The people in the country before when the certain group came to power, because of the persecution, the people who were not persecuted had a better life.
It's kind of a trade-off. Yeah.
So it's like, that's the thing about golden age is somebody always catches the back end. You know, so it's, nothing comes for free. If you look at pretty much any golden age in any civilization, it started by everybody becoming unified and hyper-nationalist. Which hyper-nationalism leads to racial tension and things like that. And this country cannot have that happen. That's something that if we
that
broke out
happened,
into
that-
full race war, which I don't think will ever happen, but if it did, that would be
the
the
end.
end of this nation.
The end of the first version of the United States.
Yeah, which I feel like anyways this country is getting up to its expiration date. The way things are looking.
It seems we're
But
headed
people
in
have been saying that every time there's an economic downfall, which there have been several.
Yeah.
I mean, we came back from the Great Depression. Think about that. The Great Dust Bowl and all that, where everything
yeah.
died. You couldn't plant anything in the Midwest. I mean, so we survived that, but we had a much smaller population.
And we were also.
Because think about it. I mean, how many people died during the Great Depression because of starvation and stuff during the Great Depression? How many people died from starvation during the Great Depression? It's reading our listening to us. President Hoover said, "Nobody's actually starving."
Nobody's actually starving. So fucking true, dude. Leave it up to Mr. Hooverville himself.
Well, from unnatural causes during the Great Depression. According to our incredibly reliable source, Quora, 5 to 10 million people. Right, so let's just go off that, and that's the high end, 5 to 10 million. We'll say 5 million. What was the population in 1931? The U.S. population in 1931.
120 million.
124 million. So basically, like, imagine if we had another Great Depression and 30 million Americans died. Where would we put all the bodies?
You wouldn't, dude. There's
They'd
not
be
enough.
laying in the street.
We would have to cremate them. If we would even have the infrastructure to do something like that at that point.
Yeah.
If that many people died,
Well,
you look like you got something on your mind. What
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
I don't know. 30 million's a lot.
It's a lot higher than.
I mean, they were barely able to do 6 million in what, 6 years?
Something like that, yeah. When they were dedicating to it, right?
That was like their whole thing. So it's.
So how long? So what do you think? Like,
I don't think it's. There would be so much. But my point is like, it's a cascade. Now that our population is so much higher and the population density is so much higher in this country than it was in 1931. I mean, think about how many people were living in the rural areas of this country
oh yeah,
compared
we were
to
a
how
lot
many
more,
people moved out into the cities.
We were a lot more evenly spread during those times. That's
Right.
That's for sure.
Right, we were more spread out. It was
Very
a third of the
uniform.
population, and the population was more uniformly spread.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now everybody lives in cities. You know, Chicago has what, like 10 million people or something like that?
I don't think it has 10 million yet. I think 10 million would make it a mega city, but it's not yet. I don't think so.
But either way, what I'm saying is it's like the streets would be filled with bodies. Like, could you imagine, like, they're living during the Black Plague? That's one.
See, that
was like,
is-
what, 70% of Europe died?
No, 1/3 of
Wow.
every single European. Yeah,
Was it 1/3?
1/3 of all of the population of Europe died.
That is fucking absurd.
Yeah,
That is
from one cause,
from one disease.
one disease. That's not including. That's that.
Like,
by
that's
the
like,
way,
imagine if 90 million Americans died from COVID.
that's like also all.
Imagine if 90 million
It's
Americans
also-
died during COVID. That would be fucking insane.
The worst part of that actually is that they
Wasn't
say
it like only like a few years too? Well, they had multiple Black Plagues,
it came back because they didnn't have.
but the main one, 30% of the population.
And that's only including people who died to the disease itself. It's not including people who died as a result of the effects it had on society. If we're including that, then you could say probably closer to 50% of the population died as a result.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like, no fucking wonder they went into the Dark Ages.
Yeah, that's
Like,
kind of
like,
that's not a.
Imagine 50%, like, let's just go with the lower number. A third of the population of area larger than you can even fathom, because it's, you know, the 6th century or so. It was like 6 something. I don't know.
Let me look that up.
My dates are all wrong.
You definitely.
But I know they had multiple Black Plagues. The earliest one, I think, was like something like 8.
1346 to 1353 was the first.
And how many people died?
You were actually correct about your number. It was 75% of the population. It's estimated that 75 to 200 million people died from 1334 to 1353 due to the Black Death. Between
How many years is that?
19 years. Yeah, throughout Europe and China.
75% of the population.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? So it's like,
That was in the second wave, yeah.
and and we didn't have a cure for that until like going into World War II or going into World War I. We invented penicillin.
Yeah, that was the first time we had a reliable,
Way of
so
curing
to
it.
speak, cure. Before, I mean, we had ways to treat the symptoms, but we didn't have a cure.
Right.
And nowadays, if you get the Black Plague, you go to the doctor's office and that shit's cleared up in a month.
Yeah.
Back
That's
then,
crazy.
Back then, though, you touch somebody who has it, but they're like hiding it under their clothing and it's wraps. You're just
It
done.
was like 90% mortality or something like that.
Well, yeah, because you just
You just like body starts falling apart.
Dude, your body doesn't have any energy anymore. Like you're sweating, fucking shitting, and throwing up. You just can't do anything, dude.
That's fucked up, man. It's just like
It's even,
I don't even know, man.
we're lucky we caught Ebola when we did. I'm just gonna say.
Well, Ebola was a parasite, which.
No, it was a virus.
But if you look at you're right, the Ebola virus.
The Ebola.
But it looks like a parasite.
The way it behaves is like a parasite. Very weird.
Very strange.
Like that.
So it's like we could have something come out like that where it's like a 90% mortality, incredibly infectious disease that's like spread through like.
Well, nowadays,
like
nowadays I don't know if that
ants.
would happen. Maybe that would
But
be.
okay, what if we have a fungal?
What
we
Last
have-
of Us
we-
type shit?
You know, something. Yeah, imagine that. I
See,
mean, we
okay,
have
that-
antifungals, but what if it's something we haven't encountered before?
See, that's possible because fungal spores travel through the air. That's their entire thing. When the mushrooms or when the mycelium is traveling, it goes through the air. That would fucking be hell. Except for some areas, like I think like Florida and California would probably survive. Everywhere else would be destroyed.
Yeah.
But only like SoCal would survive.
What was
really.
up with all those mosquitoes that Bill Gates released into the air?
Oh yeah, which ones? The ones? Oh, those are just infertile. That's what.
So like
it's just
what
to
is it?
reduce the population numbers because they're surging for some reason. I think.
Huh. Well, I heard that there's a lot of like West Nile cases and stuff popping up, and
Really?
I work outside a lot, man. I'm just
In
glad.
Chicago.
I don't think I've gotten sick from it, hopefully, but me and Johnny were working on putting out these 8 cameras, and man, there were so many fucking mosquitoes. As soon as the sun set, it was like there were no more than 3 or 4 on each arm at a time. On my neck, on my back, they were
Yeah.
biting through my
Fuck.
shirt.
Fuck. That's when you gotta get one of those like canvas beekeeper fits, bro. With the gloves and the helmet and everything, bro. Like you
You
can't.
just gotta smoke them down.
Yeah, bro. You gotta get like a smoke machine or something, bro.
Yeah. Does that work on mosquitoes? I could get a bug light or something. Do those work on mosquitoes? Get a wand. Dude, it was like a thick cloud of.
Yeah.
You ever
It's
seen
like
those
in-
people on the boats? And they're like riding through like a marsh, and those like the. There's a video I saw on Instagram that like it filled the boat up with like flies. And it was like just like, but they're not venomous or like they don't bite or anything.
Flies.
They're like flies, a type of like swamp fly or something. You ever see that? It's
I think
crazy.
I did, dude. It's like ooh.
They were like catching them in their hat from the air, like
Ugh.
filling the hat up in a few seconds. They would wave the hat around, they filled it up.
Best
with
not
bugs.
open your mouth, bro. Best not open your mouth.
Oh yeah, you get a couple grams of protein every second.
Can't open your eyes, dude, bro. You gotta be wearing glasses or something. You gotta be wearing goggles and like a gas mask.
Yeah, I mean that's
Just for the fucking protection, not even for like it.
crazy.
And yet Walt Disney went out down in Florida and bought the most uninhabitable place on earth besides the fucking desert.
Yeah, but
And
they
built
made it into
Disneyland.
an oasis somehow. I don't know. They eradicated the mosquitoes around Disneyland.
Yeah, pretty much.
What function do mosquitoes really have in the environment?
They don't.
I mean, other than spreading disease.
They honestly, like people.
Because they're
I heard
beneficial to diseases, so they influence that.
that's kind of.
But
their
what
thing.
diseases are good for anything?
Nothing. Well, I mean, the whole point of disease is that they're good for the earth because they increase mortality rates.
Right, which makes the soil more fertile through dead bodies.
It's kind of a cycle. I mean, so
I really do feel like the planet is like a living organism.
sometimes it feels that way.
It feels like
I'm not even
that.
gonna hold you.
But it's like just the same way a tree. You know, we're all walking around normally, but to a tree, we're all moving by really fast. You know, so it's like it's even more so for the. I mean, for the Earth, it's like trees are like pubic hairs. They grow back in a week. You know what I mean? So it's like no, it's it's like no time has passed. I mean, no time has passed for the Earth.
Ever since it was habitable for land creatures and plants, dude.
Yeah, it probably felt like a couple years for it. The equivalent.
Yeah, probably like 5 years, 5-10 years.
Yeah.
Not even actually.
Well, I mean, how long has the Earth been around? Like fucking several billion years.
Several billion.
It has, but it hasn't been inhabitable. It's been around like 2 billion years. I thought.
How long has the Earth?
Pull that up, Sassy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 4.5 billion years.
The planet's been around.
The
How
planet-
many years has it been habitable for life? Like less than a billion?
About 3.8 billion years of life appearing, including like cyanobacteria and shit. And then
I mean, that's just like a kid getting, I mean, when did trees start forming?
when did
Because that's a complex life. But there were trees before there was other life that could actually eat the trees.
You're not going to believe this. The tree started first growing in the Devonian period about 350 million years ago.
So that's nothing.
That is nothing.
That's like if the planet is a 30-year-old, it just
That was like
the Earth just started growing hair 2 years ago.
it started growing a beard, dude.
Yeah, it just like the Earth is a 20-year-old or like a 25-year-old. It just started getting its beard 2 years ago.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
That's
You know what I mean? So it's like, and we live on like such a short time frame compared to planets and stars and shit that it's like,
What is
how do we even know?
Yeah, well, like
How do you even measure something like that where every breath takes millennia? Or, Because the Earth breathes through volcanoes and air vents and things like that.
Mhm.
And it pulses and it does all that shit. It's very strange. Very strange. Everything is just very strange. But yeah. Well, I think we're going to wrap it up here today, Sassy. It's great having you for our first podcast. What are we going to call this thing from now on?
What about fucking Saturdays for the Boys?
Saturdays for the Boys? Okay. Saturdays for the Boys.
Episode 1.
Episode 1. We're going to probably try and bring some more of our buddies on. So, we'll see. But for now, it's just the Sammy and Sassy Saturdays are for the Boys show. Thanks for watching.